That moment I felt was actually a mirror showing me what I secretly desire deep down. Maybe I just desire to be seen, to be celebrated. Dreams always have a way to guide us home. They are always there to show us something that maybe feels too difficult or too dangerous to recognize in our daily life. They speak the language of our soul. Maybe the dream was actually pointing me towards where I'm attaching my self-worth to. If we are aiming and striving and going to the direction of being perfect or healed, then we are getting it all wrong, isn't it? Each emotion, they are signals that can guide us back to ourselves, to our soul. It's really about a journey of learning to allow and accept all parts of us. Because when we do that, that is how we actually reclaim our power back. That's where we can actually become sovereign. We can become free. Hey chillers, welcome back to episode 6 of The Original Magic. Oh my god, it's episode 6 already. Time flies. So just wanted to say thank you for being a listener of Chill by Net podcast, be it if you are someone that followed me all the way through since episode 1 till now, or if you're a new listener, just really wanted to express my gratitude to you. So today's episode is a little bit vulnerable and a little bit personal. It's about dreams again, because recently I've been dreaming a lot, okay? But this particular dream just felt really vivid. It was also a dream that was really bizarre. Actually, my dreams were actually quite bizarre, but this was particularly bizarre that it was so vivid as well. So I went on this trip with a close friend and her partner, and somewhere along the trip, she actually ruined the leather handle of my favorite handbag. And in that moment, she was like biting and chewing on it. I know it's so bizarre, but it felt so real in the dream. And I could still remember my emotion back then was like I was in complete shock and disbelief. I just couldn't make sense of what was happening, but I also felt this sense of rage and anger that I couldn't really express, and I could feel like my whole face was hot and tears were welling up, but nothing came up. I really couldn't bring myself to confront her. She looks like she was having fun with it and everything. She didn't know what she was doing as well was impacting me this much. I really turned to my partner and expressed my frustration, telling him that, I was really sad and then nobody actually noticed, nobody cared, nobody understands how this bag is important to me. And then it's so bizarre, okay, the dream. But we went on to find like a new replacement, and along the way, this next scene actually came up. My partner actually broke. I don't know why, but my partner was actually wearing my friend's high heels, and then he was walking, and then suddenly the whole of her shoe just like broke into pieces. And in that moment, I felt so much guilt and fear because I just didn't know how to explain to my friend. There was this fear around, oh my, now what? I cannot go and look for a new handle for my handbag, and then I had to go and explain to my friend. And there was just a lot more emotions at that instance, So the next scene, also on the trip, I met another friend of mine who was actually doing very well in her life. She landed this really big opportunity, and she got to go to this sponsored trip with her favorite brand, right? And I was really happy for her, but I also felt this sense of envious, right? Or maybe you can even call it jealousy, that was coming up in that moment. And I just felt something that I didn't expect at all amidst all of that joy and happiness for my friend. I just felt like the emotions were all still lingering there, but I felt like it was a sense of release, even in a way that I felt a little bit lighter when I woke up. There was anger, there was sadness, there was jealousy, and then there was guilt, right? All of these really heavy emotions. And yet, instead of really rushing to judge these emotions and what happened in the dream, I just knew in that moment that this dream was trying to point me towards something deeper, even though I wasn't able to process all of them yet. So I quickly woke up, and without even brushing up, I went to take my dream journal and I recorded down the dream, the details, the feelings, and everything that I felt in the dream. And then I sat with it for a while, right? And I started to actually see what was this dream actually showing me. Oh, this is something that I really love to do, okay? I actually really love the dream. No matter how bizarre is my dream, I always wake up really happy if my dreams were vivid and I can actually remember them. I actually feel really excited decoding my dreams, okay? Yeah, this is just one of my hobbies, okay? So upon reflecting about this dream, I think that there were a lot of themes that I actually captured. And I think the first one was the bag. Okay, the bag actually pointed to something that was very important to me that I hold really close to my heart, right? It was some sort of an item of great importance. So when my friend did not honor the boundary, or rather the boundary wasn't really communicated, but when my friend actually destroyed something that was precious to me, I felt really disrespected. I felt that my boundaries wasn't honored, but I also felt that I wasn't able to actually speak up for myself. I wasn't able to stand up for my own rights. I mean, I wasn't able to stand up and tell her that, hey, stop it, I don't appreciate that. But rather, I just stayed silent, allowing all of the emotions to kind of just build up within me. It just points towards the parts of me that still feels unsafe to speak my truth. And it points to the parts of me that feel safer being silenced. And then the second thing that stood out to me was the idea of this whole jealousy feeling that I felt when I heard that my friend actually landed this big opportunity. That moment I felt was actually a mirror showing me what I secretly desire deep down of me. Maybe I just desire to be seen, to be celebrated for who I am. So later on, when I shared this dream with my supervisor, she also shared a perspective that resonated with me. So she made a remark by saying that maybe the dream was actually pointing me towards where I'm attaching my self-worth to. It's asking me to redefine value itself, worth itself, maybe letting go of identifying with the material or the external towards recognizing what my soul truly longs for. And I felt that this perspective was quite resonating as well. So I guess this is the third thing that the dream was trying to point me towards, which is how I come to define value and how much of importance do I attach to certain things. When something that I've carefully built, for instance, maybe a certain image that I've carried of who I'm supposed to be, actually gets damaged, it gets cracked open, there is this wound and there's this pain, right, that actually felt really destabilizing and really painful. So maybe this dream is really coming to remind me that, what is true cannot really be lost as well. And what my soul truly longs for is the connection, and it really longs for authenticity, meaning, right? And it just really wants to be maybe seen for who it is, and maybe the old is just falling away. How I come to define my worth is slowly changing, and a new way of being, a new way of defining my worth is actually emerging at this point. And what my soul actually truly desires is also getting clearer day by day. So I see that what my soul truly longs for is to fully express itself into this world, to be seen and celebrated. So this dream actually carried this message that I think my soul was trying to tell me. It was actually trying to say that the value that I carry doesn't lie in the bag, right, or anything external. It already lives in the being that you are. I think the dream actually allowed me to see some of the patterns that I've outgrown. Of course, the patterns are still there today, but I think these are the patterns that no longer really weigh me down in the path forward. So patterns like how I've muted myself to keep peace sometimes, to prevent conflict sometimes, or to manage people's emotions sometimes, and how I've sought validation in my achievements, in the image that I've built, and in others' approval, and how easy it is to forget that my worth isn't something to be earned. These patterns are not new patterns. They are really energetic patterns that heals in layers, and they are also released in phases. Dreams always have a way to guide us home. They are always there to show us something that maybe feels too difficult or too dangerous to recognize in our daily life. They speak the language of our soul, not the mind. And I think this dream was also pointing towards accepting all parts of myself, it was actually pointing me back towards the idea of wholeness. Because every emotion that surfaced, the anger, the guilt, the sadness, the helplessness, the jealousy, all of this are parts of me that either tells me what is important to me, tells me where my boundaries are, it tells me what I care, what I value about. They are just signals and signposts. These are very, very real and raw human emotions, which sometimes can be very dangerous to be expressed or scary to be revealed in our waking life. But in the dream, they can actually come up more full blown. And when it's there, right, we just gotta harness the message of these emotions. But more so, I also see that these emotions are all parts of us. So they are all welcome and they are not to be shamed. Therefore, it also got me reflecting that, maybe in our healing journey, wholeness isn't about being perfect or being healed. Okay, if we are aiming and striving and going to the direction of being perfect or healed, then we are getting it all wrong, isn't it? It's really about a journey of learning to allow and accept all parts of us, to make space for all parts of us to exist without shame. The tender, the messy, the proud, the jealous, the protective, all of these parts to have a seat at the table. Each emotion, they are signals that can guide us back to ourselves, to our soul. So through therapy, through studying my dreams, and even through life itself, I've come to learn that the healing journey is about expanding our capacity, our bandwidth, okay? Literally, our nervous system is our bandwidth, okay? It's literally expanding our bandwidth to hold all of these parts of us, all of these emotions, all of these messy parts, all of these protective parts, okay? Is to be able to increase more of our capacity to hold all of these parts without contradiction, without shame, and without running away from them. Okay? Because when we do that, that is how we actually reclaim our power back. That's where we can actually become sovereign. We can become free. Okay? And we can then choose the kind of person that we want to be. We can actually choose a path that resonates with us without having the interference of these parts. And when we are able to do so, okay, I'm saying this as if it's the next destination, but it's never actually a destination. But when we are able to do more of this, we find that we are able to move through life more as our soul. And life just feels more effortless in that way. So if you have a dream lately that stirred something within you, sit with the feeling instead. Give yourself some time. You may journal it. You may talk to a friend about it. For my case, I talked to my supervisor. Ask yourself, what part of you is asking to be seen? And what truth is ready to be reclaimed? So if today's episode resonated with you, maybe take some time this week to write down some of your dream fragments, those that you can remember, and see what emotions or symbols are calling for your attention. Bye!
Wow!
Thanks for chilling in. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to subscribe. You can also connect with me on Instagram at chillbynet, or my website chillbynet.com to find out more about chill therapy services. Have a great day, and we'll chill together again very soon.